Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I'm going to show you how to crochet this cap. If you'd like the written version of this pattern, it's on my website. I'll leave the link in the description. If you've never crocheted before, take a look at my videos about how to do single crochet and how to crochet in the round. So you're going to need a 3mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, a stitch marker, scissors, some pins to help with sewing. You'll need some black 6mm safety eyes. So you can get them online and they come in packets with different sizes. Mine weren't labelled, so I labelled them like this. So the 6mm ones are the smallest ones. And then they also come with these plastic backs. So in this bag here, these are the plastic backs that you use to attach them. You'll need double knit yarn in light grey and light pink. And you also need some stuffing. So we're going to start with the head in grey, and we're going to make a magic ring, and we're going to do 6 single crochet in the magic ring. So we'll just take that short tail out and put it by the side, and we'll do our 6 single crochet underneath both of those strands. So you count these to count your stitches, and then pull tight on that short end to close the magic ring, and then we put our stitch marker in. So round 2, we're going to do an increase in every stitch. So an increase is 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. So at the end of the round, we'll have 12 stitches. So I'll show you this round in real time and then the next round as well. And then once you get the idea, I will just show you the start of every round. So we take out the stitch marker and do our last increase. And you can count your stitches, make sure you've got 12. And then we put the marker back in that stitch. And this is what we do at the end and the start of every round. So round 3, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to increase in the next stitch, and we're going to do that 6 times. So we repeat the part in brackets 6 times, and at the end of the round we'll have 18 stitches. So we're increasing evenly in multiples of 6. So there's 1 increase, 1 increase. So I'll just speed this bit up to show you, but you can pause the video and meet me back. So take the marker out and do our last increase. Round 4, we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then we're going to increase in the next stitch, and we're going to do that 6 times, and we'll have 24 stitches at the end of the round. So I'll just show you the first set, and then you can pause the video and meet me back when you've done that. So you can count your rounds like this. So we've got 4, round 5, we're going to single crochet the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to increase in the next stitch. We do that 6 times, and we'll have 30 stitches at the end of the round. So again, you can count your rounds. So rounds 6 to 11, that's 6 rounds. We're going to single crochet in every stitch. So we're not increasing or decreasing, just maintaining 30 stitches. So you can pause the video and meet me back when you've done all of those rounds. Okay, so now you can count from round 1, and you can actually see the increases, they stand out, and then you can count the rounds after that, so you should have 6. Now we're going to take our safety eyes, and we're going to insert them between rounds 7 and 8, so count from round 1, and it's the line between rounds 7 and 8, and you might have to twist it while you push it in, because it's like a screw. So there's the first one. And then we're going to count the single crochet stitches in between. So we want them to be 6 stitches apart, but we want 4 stitches in between to be visible, and the other 2 will be partially covered by each eye. So just make sure it's on the same line and push the other one through. They can be a bit fiddly, it might get caught. So there we go. So I'm just comparing it to the first one I made and counting the stitches. So there's 4. So now we take the plastic backs and you want to have it so that the small hole end is what you're pushing onto the screw. So you'll hear it snap into place. So really push down. It can be a bit difficult. You need to put a fair bit of force on it. So now they're secure, and we put our stitch marker back in and continue crocheting. Round 12, we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to do an invisible decrease, and we're going to do that 6 times, and we'll have 24 stitches. So I'm going to show you how to do the invisible decrease. So there's our 3. So the loop that's closest to you is the front loop, and the loop that's furthest away from you is the back loop. So to do an invisible decrease, we want to pick up the front loop only, and then the front loop only of the stitch next to that. And then we've got 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops. You can pull through one first and then the next to make it easier. And then yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops. And that's an invisible decrease. You can see we've got our back loops left, and we've got this diagonal piece. And we don't want to go into that. We want to go into the next stitch, which is the V shape. So we just repeat this all the way around. I'll just show you one more set, and then you can pause the video and meet me back when you've done that. So round 13, we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to invisible decrease. We do that 6 times and we'll have 18 stitches. Round 14, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, then we're going to invisible decrease, do that 6 times, and we'll have 12 stitches. Okay, so now we finish that round, we can count, make sure we got 12, and we're going to fasten off, leaving a long tail, about this long, for sewing. And now we're going to stuff it firmly, so just tear off pieces of stuffing and push it in with your fingers, reshape it as you go and make it nice and firm. So now we're going to cut a 55cm long piece of light pink yarn and tie a double knot near the end, so 2 knots on top of each other. Thread it onto your needle and then come up through the opening. And you want to come up on the round below where the eyes end. And then we're going to make stitches like this so that we make a triangle. So we're just weaving in and out, going through these points, and we want to come up above that horizontal line, and we're going to fill in that triangle by making stitches that go in through that same space at the bottom. So then we want to come out at the side so that we can do the whiskers, and we're just going to do 3 lines for the whiskers, and we always go back in the same point that we came out of, and then do a straight line there, and then another line on the next round down, and then weave through and do the same on the opposite side. And then we're going to come back out of the opening at the neck, and then we're going to fasten off. So we find a loop on the inside of the last round and go through it but not all the way. Go through the loop from behind and pull tight to make a knot. So now we're going to make the ears, and we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to chain 7. So you can count your chains, count the V's. And we're going to start in the second chain from the hook, and we're going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So count your stitches, make sure you got 6. Row 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn the work so that we're looking at the back of it. Now that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch because it's a turning chain. So we're going to do a single crochet 2 together. So we push the hook through that first stitch under both loops, yarn over and pull through. And we push the hook under both loops of the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that's a single crochet 2 together. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to do another single crochet 2 together with the last 2 stitches that we've got. So it's exactly the same, but the last stitch of the row might be a bit tighter, so it might be a bit more fiddly. And then we'll have 4 stitches at the end of this row. Row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do a single crochet 2 together twice. So now we have 2 stitches. Row 4, we chain 1 and turn, and we just do 1 more single crochet 2 together so that we've just got 1 stitch. And both ears are made the same, so you would make another one after you've done this one. So we cut the yarn leaving a long tail, fasten off, and then we're going to weave that short tail from the slip knot into the back of the stitches on the first row. Make sure you don't pull it out of shape by pulling it too tight. And then thread that long tail onto your needle and weave it down the side where the ends of the rows are. So just picking up loops so that we get it where we need it to be so that we can sew on the bottom edge to the head. So now you can pin the ears to the head, just curve them inward slightly, and then pick up loops from the surface of the stitches on the head and go through those remaining loops from our starting chain. And just curve it round as you sew it on. And then to fasten off, we're going to find a loop and go through it, but not all the way. And go through that loop from behind, pull tight to make a knot, and then weave that end through the head. And then cut the yarn close to the edge of the work and use the end of your needle to push that in and hide it. So now with the body, we're going to start in grey, and it's exactly the same as how we started the head. So rounds 1 to 5, we're increasing from 6 to 30. So I'll leave the instructions on the screen. You can pause the video and meet me back when you've got to that point. So round 6, we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then we're going to increase in the next stitch. Do that 6 times and we'll have 36 stitches. So I'll just show you the first set and then you can pause the video and meet me back. So you can count your rounds. These are all our increases rounds. So rounds 7 to 9, that's 3 rounds. We're going to single crochet in every stitch and we'll maintain 36 stitches. So you can pause the video and meet me back when you've done all those rounds. So you can see where your last increase round is and then count, and you should have 3 rounds. Round 10, we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches and then we're going to do an invisible decrease. We'll do that 6 times and we'll have 30 stitches. So I'll just show you the first set and you can pause the video and meet me back. So rounds 11 to 13, that's 3 rounds again. We're going to single crochet in every stitch, maintaining 30 stitches. So you can pause the video and meet me back. Okay, so I've done those 3 rounds. You can find the last increase and count 3 rounds. So round 14, we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches, then we're going to do an invisible decrease, do that 6 times, and we'll have 24 stitches. So again, I'll just show you the first set and you can pause the video and meet me back. So rounds 15 to 17, that's 3 rounds again. We're going to single crochet in every stitch, maintaining 24 stitches. So I've done those 3 rounds. Round 18, we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then we're going to do an invisible decrease, do that 6 times, and we'll have 18 stitches at the end of the round. Rounds 19 to 20, so that's just 2 rounds this time. We're going to single crochet in every stitch, maintaining 18 stitches. Okay, so I've done those 2 rounds. And then round 21, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, then we're going to invisible decrease 6 times, and we'll have 12 stitches. And this is the last round. Okay, so now we're going to fasten off. So we don't need to leave a very long tail for this. And then we're going to stuff it firmly. So the legs, we're going to make 4 exactly the same. And we're going to start with the magic ring and make 6 single crochet in the magic ring. So pull tight to close the magic ring. And put our stitch marker in. Round 2, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to increase in the next stitch, and we're going to do that 3 times so that we have 9 stitches at the end of the round. So we put our marker back in. Round 3, we're going to do an invisible decrease 3 times, so all next to each other, and then we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then we'll have 6 stitches at the end of the round. So what this does is it creates a foot because the decreases are pulling it in from just one side. So put the marker back in, and then rounds 4 to 14, that's 11 rounds, we can single crochet in every stitch, so just maintaining 6 stitches so that we'll just have a long tube for the leg. So you can pause the video and meet me back when you've done that. And then you'll also need to make 3 more exactly the same. Okay, so you can count your rounds like this. And then we're going to leave a long tail for sewing and fasten off. And then trim that tail from the magic ring. And then just bend that foot at the point where the decreases are. So now we're going to make the tail, and we're going to start with the magic ring and make 6 single crochet in the magic ring. So I'll just speed this up to show you. And then put the marker in. And rounds 2 to 21, that's 20 rounds. We're going to single crochet in every stitch, so maintaining 6 stitches so that we'll have a tube. So you can pause the video and meet me back when you've done that. So you can count your rounds and then trim that tail from the magic ring and fasten off, leaving a long tail for sewing. And now the good thing is that it's going to hold its shape when we curve the tail around. So we just want to curl it round from the end and then curl it in the middle as well. So it's a bit like a question mark or an S shape. And now we're going to sew the legs on. So we want to count 6 rounds down from the top of the neck. I want to sew it on the 6th round. So we're going to flatten the end and go through both layers and then pick up loops on that 6th round down. And then we're going to weave through the leg and come out near the middle. And then we're going to make a few more stitches just to secure it so that it sits flat against the body. And you also want to check that the legs touch the ground when you put the body flat on a table. So then we're going to fasten off and weave in the end. And then we're going to sew the other front leg on in the same way, and we're going to leave 2 stitches as the gap. So I've sewn them on there. And now to do the back legs, we want to create a knee joint. So we bend it at that point so that the end is in line with where the ankle would be. And then we put a pin in place to keep those edges together. and we're going to flatten that end, and then we can pin that to the body at the side like that, and then another one at the top, and then pin the other side, and just check that when the body is flattened at the bottom, the feet will touch the floor. So then we're going to thread that onto our needle and sew that bottom edge first, going through both layers and just picking up loops from that round. And then we're going to weave through the leg so that we get to the inside edge. You can take one of those pins out. And we're going to sew it to the body, just picking up loops. So we want that other pin left in so that it keeps those two sides together, so that we know where to sew it. And just keep sewing until you get up to the knee. And we're going to sew down to the ankle. We're not going to sew the feet to the body. So when we get to the ankle, we're going to fasten off. And you can take that pin out at this point as well. And then we're going to weave the tail in. And cut the yarn, and then repeat the same for the other leg. So now we're going to sew the head on, so just make sure that it's straight and check where your stitches are lined up. So we're going to go underneath the V shape on both pieces and just sew all the way around. And then fasten off. And weave in that end. And then you also need to weave in the end from where we finished the body. And cut those ends and hide them. So now we're going to sew the tail on. So we're going to sew it like this, and we're going to flatten the end, and we're going to sew it on the same round where the bottom of the legs are sewn to. So it helps to use pins to position it. And just do another pin, so curve it round to the side so that it sticks out from the front like that. And pick up loops. And then weave through to the point where that second pin is. Then we're going to do a couple more stitches at that point to attach it so that it is secure against the back of the body. And then fasten off and weave the end in. And trim the yarn and hide the end. So there we have it, our cat is finished. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'd love to see a photo of your cat. You can share it with me on Instagram by tagging me at Laura_Wilson01. I also have an Etsy shop where I design and sell crochet patterns. It's called Laura Wilson Designs. I'll leave the link in the description if you'd like to check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.